The Chinese president is visiting Washington. This is a return visit. Obama visited a year ago, November. And there's a curious pattern of the relationship sort of sliding downhill, not precipitously, but it's somewhat dysfunctional. And then the presidents get together, they ratchet it back up, they make some declarations, and then it starts trickling down again. So I think the challenge this time is to see if it isn't possible for them to hit the reset button and to say, in essence, we have many disagreements, very different political systems. However, there are certain problems that cannot be solved without US-China cooperation. If they're not solved, it will be deleterious to both countries, and it is here that both countries have an emphatic common interest. Will that happen? I'm not particularly optimistic. I think there are many constraints in China and there are many constraints in Washington. But that would be, that is what's needed to kind of make these two countries, position these two countries in a way to actually deal with some of these new kinds of overlapping problems that are neither their problem or our problem. They're both of our problems and everybody's problems. Nuclear proliferation, trade, climate change, rogue states, just to name a few. Clearly, what's going on in Washington bewilders many Americans, and you can imagine the Chinese confronting this sort of very acerbic, very dysfunctional state of paralysis, what they make of it. I think they've become much more sophisticated in understanding that there isn't just a government. There's a government riven with many interest groups and many different governmental departments that check and balance each other. However, I think it is with no small amount of schadenfreude that they look at the US and they see that this great democratic system, which for so long was proclaimed as the best, most efficient and dynamic way to run a government, is basically paralyzed. Whereas they were supposed to be the dysfunctional authoritarian government, somehow are managing to get things done, which is not to say they don't have very grave problems. They do. Nor is it to say that this is a preferred system of government. But we're in a world now at a time when we are all called upon to reevaluate, what works and what price we're willing to pay in terms of individual freedoms, in terms of freedom of expression, et cetera, to make things work. And China is sort of pioneering, if you will, a new kind of model at the same time that the Washington model, the democratic model, seems to be bogging down. And this raises an awful lot of very vexing questions on both sides of the divide.